Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. This is Kunal Gupta. I operate in the capacity of a co-founder and CEO at a company called EMotorad. Before I deep down into what the business is all about, I'll just quickly start with a little bit of background about myself. I come from a place called Nagpur, born in a typical Banya family, have seen businesses happening all around me. Was always figuring out what to do in life. Started with selling greeting cards, trading Tazos and stuff. Came to Pune for doing masters and still figuring out some or the other business opportunity. Fortunately, my college was in the outskirts of Pune and I clicked on one opportunity which was basically renting bikes to college students who was always looking to go out of college for food, movies and different stuff, right? That is where I started. While studying in college, started a small business, accumulated some pocket money, bought five second-hand two-wheelers, a very WhatsAppy business. Just wanted to have a taste of the business. To my luck and fortune today, that turned out to be a very decent business. Ran that for 2 years in between classes, in between college, scaled it up to 150 bikes, a decent bit of revenue and a healthy chunk of profits for funding everything that I wanted to do in college. After 2 years, found an opportunity to sell that company, got acquired by a larger company which was called On Bikes. On Bikes was basically a Zoom car of two-wheelers, if I can draw a parallel. We started from Bangalore, expanded to 11 cities, was a typical Zoom car model where we had an app, multiple assets on road, two-wheelers on road. We used to rent out right from your Activas to Bullets to Avengers, everything. Had a B2B side to the business where you used to lease out IoT-driven bikes to Amazon, Flipkart, Ola, Uber for their bike taxi and delivery needs. Scaled that business for 5 years to 17,000 assets on road, going very well. Learned a lot about mobility, startup, technology in that particular stint of mine. And of course, learned it the hard way that ICE engine, what we call petrol engine, is not going to last for long. And that was the inspiration for us starting EMotorad. Yeah, so 2016 is when we had a realization that petrol engine is not going to last, but we didn't know where to go about. So we started looking at the West, started understanding how the West is performing, because usually as a country we tend to adopt to technologies that are there in the West, and that's what we came across, a product called electric cycles, electric bikes as we call it in the West, right? Very exciting product, a typical personal mobility product where you can take the first mile, last mile, take it in the public transport, and you realize that ye to bahut fadega. It looks like a good product. Went to the board in my last company, On Bikes. Board rejected the fact that too early. EV is still very early for India. I think we are still very far away. We need to focus on the business that we are presenting. So shut down that thought at that point of time. But one of my colleague who I was working with found the larger opportunity. He went to China and stayed in China for next 4 years, working with different e-bike companies. As a typical Indian, we know how to speak decent English, we know how to do sales, and that's what probably the Chinese lack at the most. So he grabbed that opportunity for 4 years. He lived in China and sold products worth more than $1.5 billion, which was all e-bikes to the US and Europe. Of course, garnered a bigger opportunity. We kept on brainstorming of how can we build this particular market from India, and why did we want to build it? The answer is here. In India, I don't think any of us or hardly few of us would have driven an e-bike today, right? Electric cycle as a product, we don't know how it works honestly. Globally, it's, as we stand today, it's a $50 billion opportunity. Most of it consumed across US and Europe, and 99% of the product manufactured in China. That is where the real opportunity lies, right? China is great at manufacturing. It of course lagged at that point of time in the software tech, and we believed as Indians we are great at software tech. We are great at manufacturing of cycles, as India was already the second largest exporter of normal cycles. We thought accumulating this technology together, we can build something really big. So started this particular business, which was called EMotorad. EMotorad basically means electric motorbikes. We never got into motorbikes though, but yeah, that's been the story. It's a typical China plus one journey. आइडिया सिंपल था कि यार चाइना से कम्पीट करेंगे, पहले ट्रेड करेंगे, बाद में मैन्युफैक्चरिंग करेंगे और बहुत अच्छा धंधा बनाएंगे. नेवर थॉट वील एंड अप बिल्डिंग इट लाइक अ प्रॉपर स्टार्टअप, getting funding and doing all of those activities. This is how it all started. Of course, a very garage-ish play. Built our first bike with a lot of hustle. Took us 1 year to build one very scrappy product. Fortunately, we got the validations from international markets more than we got it in India. India में we always personally also had a belief कि यार India में ये cycle बिकेगा नहीं, बहुत महंगा है. It started at $50,000 at that point of time, and we're like यार Indian consumer कभी नहीं खरीदेगा, international markets में ही focus करते हैं. Fortunately, got some validations there, and started building more and more products in India. 2 years down the line, we built this particular infrastructure. I think the video is playing. Does it have audio? So this is what we've built in last 1 year. Launched it. The company is just 4 years old. We have built the South Asia's largest electric bike plant. It is based in Pune. We have a capacity of making 5 lakh e-bikes, which in revenue translates to 1,500 crores worth of products in its capacity.
And efficiency, distributing to over 72 countries worldwide, with a host of certifications across borders for our products strategically positioned for US and European markets. Our clients can benefit immensely and save more due to EU's low import duties. We pride ourselves on our meticulous production process that transforms raw materials into world-class e-bikes. We ensure a diligent pre-check, assembly, and post-check process to deliver high-quality products. The 4 assembly lines dedicated to various e-bike components are laid out meticulously with strict SOPs to maintain the highest standards of quality. The e-bike is as meticulously put together as all of its components. The first stage of assembly occurs on the sub-assembly line. Each e-cycle is pushed to its limits, tested on trails under both normal and extreme conditions. Once everything is good to go, we package the e-cycles with love and care. No scratches, no dents, just perfection as every box. We prioritize providing exceptional service from initial purchase to long-term maintenance. At Dynam, we are committed to building not just e-bikes, but truly the future of mobility.
So yeah, sitting in Pune, we are the largest exporter of e-bikes from India. A quick snapshot of, before I deep down into the business, a quick snapshot of what little we could have achieved so far. I think we've crossed a revenue of approximately 550 plus crores, sold more than 2 lakh plus e-bikes across. We hold 12 patents. We have been exporting to 18 countries, and it's growing super fast. The best rated e-bike in India, and I'll come to India of how it started and why it started altogether. Quickly, before I deep down further, I'm sure most of you haven't driven an e-bike, so I'll just give you a brief background about what an e-bike actually means. E-bike is basically a cycle, comes with a battery and a motor, and a very smart cycle in itself, comes with 5 modes of operation. It's a normal cycle. It has a throttle. It can work like a scooter. It has a pedal assist. When you pedal, the battery and the motor gives it power, so it goes much more faster. It has a cruise mode like a car. You're going on a speed of 20-25. Just switch on the cruise mode. You don't need to do anything. Just balance the bike. It'll go by itself. And it has a walk mode. A lot of time you have to drag the bike out of parking, walking with someone. You don't have to drag the bike. You just switch on the walk mode. It will walk with you at your own speed. So it's inherently smart bike in itself. But this is what is available across the world. So we made it much more smarter. We've built a tech wherein every single person or a guardian or a parent to their kid can track the bike. There is tracking, there is remote locking, there is fall detection, which is a very, very critical feature across the world, right? 70% of the cycles in the world are driven by kids. When I say kids, young adults and kids, right? The parents really fear if their child will meet in an accident, where will they go, all of that, right? Today, you can geofence your kid's bike to his school, to his sports class, to wherever he's going. Also limit the speed at what speed you want. Also, there's a fall detection mechanism. If there is a fall anytime on the bike, immediately you'll get an SOS call on your phone. And that's the tech which is proprietary to us, only available with us in the world. One of the major reasons why we've been able to grow so fast so far. I think before any company really sees an uptick, they really need to master their business flywheel, and this is how we have been able to do it. We have 2 facets to the business. One is a export business, one is a domestic business. How we go about things is we are building products in India. Now, India is not really known for manufacturing and innovation, so we also have to go through that hustle. Anything that we are innovating, we are putting it into our manufacturing and supply chain cadence, putting it to our captive audience, which we treat our Indian brand as a captive audience. We have a decent size domestic brand. We sell around 4 to 5,000 units a month in India. So we submit these products to our Indian consumers, take the feedback. The feedback goes through the loop. And finally, when the product is perfected, it goes to the international market, where we get the economies of scale and eventually the business flywheel moves. Why is this? Why is this important? Probably this is because of which we are able to get the best material margins and the gross margins in the industry. It is much more than what the two-wheeler industry or the car industry governs in this country, while our ASP is significantly lower. Our ASP of the brand is around 28 to 30,000 bucks. Still, our gross margins are significantly 3x more than what you will see in the two-wheeler industry of EV. And that's why this particular slide is superbly important. Today, we are working with the large marquee clients across the world, and this was only possible. This is a market which is supply constraint and demand led, which is a great thing, right? I told you it's a 40 billion, $50 billion industry. The material is being supplied by China and everyone is looking to diversify, right? That is where we step in, our technology steps in. And because we are still a very, very young company and still able to work with the largest of the brands, and the brands that you see here with the likes of Walmart and Decathlon, this is not marketplace distribution. This is we white labeling our tech, white labeling our technology to them under their brand name, which is a large contract in place. Coming here, right? Very, very interesting story of why and how we started India business. So when we started doing our initial days of exports during the second COVID wave, one of our containers, which was supposed to go to UK, got stuck. And we were sitting on 250 odd bikes, don't know what to do with it. So we thought, let's go to the local Pune market and start selling it in on cash basis. Fortunately, a few dealers showed interest, took that up, sold that very, very fast. And that container got sold in less than 18 days. And you're like, wow, Indian consumer is also buying a 50,000 rupees product. There must be some meat. Then we started our journey there, started doubling down. Been 3 years, we've been doing business in India. Every single market report, BCG, McKinsey, every market report said by 2025, the Indian e-bike ecosystem will be $2 million worth. Today, we ourselves are doing $15 million worth of business only in India. So the business has been scaling very, very fast in India. Super growth here. Own approximately 70% market share here. 500 plus retail outlets across the country, have been the bestseller across Amazon, Flipkart for last 3 years, and have been growing very, very fast in this space. Of course, it was all possible because of Mr. MS Dhoni, and I think it's a very good case study to have that. Having a celebrity, does having a celebrity helps or not? It really helped us a lot. Since Mr. MS has came in as an ambassador investor in the company, our business sales have tripled, particularly in the domestic market. It was not needed particularly for consumer to build trust, right? It was needed for our retail channels to build trust on the category, to build trust on a brand who's competing with the likes of Hero and Avon and Atlas, right? We are a very, very new brand. So the moment we brought him as an investor ambassador, that is the moment. In next 1 year we doubled our sales, and now we are just, it's been 24 months, our sales have tripled from there. So it's a very, very good win for us. And of course we do a brilliant job with our ads. I hope some of you must have seen a few of them. I think that's the last slide. I won't bore you further. Very, very strong pipeline in place. We are one of the leading companies in India who have a very strong manufacturing background and leading the play of Make in India for the world. Today, our pipeline stands at $50 million and growing very, very fast to be delivered in next 24 months. We are eyeing a public event in next 3 years, eyeing at a revenue of 1,000 crores. 70% of it is coming from our export business, and that's the play we are in. We just entered into a new category a couple of months back, which is IP-led kids electronic cars. I think toy is a very, very big focus of India as a nation. It got pseudo banned in terms of import after BIS norm came in, if everyone is aware. I think it's a very big opportunity. We are the only one in the country right now who owns IPs across Mercedes, BMW, Audi, Lamborghini, all the kids cars, and we will soon start selling in all these showrooms in India. Every single kid car, IP-led kid car that you'll see in India starting next year will be made by EMotorad, and I think that's a very, very big play that we are going to enter into. Yeah. So yeah, mota, this is what I have for everyone about EMotorad. Happy to answer anything if you will have any questions. I think I was very clear. Thank you.